Welcome everybody to track 2 here at the East Coast Clash. The two teams that are about to play are the South Sea Roller Derby Banshees. They'll be appearing today in blue. And the other team is the Brisbane City Rollers, and they'll be appearing today in white. We've got about 30 seconds to Derby. That seems to have cued Brisbane onto the track. My name's Suspender. It's been around. It's been a while since I've been around. I'm looking forward to what the day brings and holds. It's going to be some great roller derby happening out there on the track. Beautiful vibe here in the stadium. If you're watching at home, you should just come on down. There are stalls. There are people. We're almost ready to go. And that's the starting whistle for the game, just about to kick off. I'll tell you who the jammers are as soon as I see their numbers. Got a nice inside line lead for Brisbane for 3-2. That's Riley out there with lead jammer status. Banshees jammer now getting out on the back straightaway as Riley comes through to collect some points. A quick call off denying the Banshees' ability to score. So that puts 4 on the board for the Brisbane City Rollers. It's early, as we know. That was Jam 1. We've got a few of these to go. Second jam, seeing some really tight defence from both teams on that front straightaway. Brisbane 6-2-6 getting lead, but the Banshees also getting out quickly after. That makes for a bit of a hit and quit. A point snatch there. Adding another, I'll just double check that. There's another 2 points on the scoreboard for Brisbane. All right, here we go. Jam 3. Really nice tight defense. 3 on 3. We've got 2 blockers in the box there. Really nice tight defense by Brisbane up the front as the Banshees jammer tries to push it out. Looking for lanes either on the outside, trying to find some gaps, but Brisbane covering it well. Really excellent recovery by the Banshees to recycle the Brisbane jammer. Still nothing, no jammer has gotten lead so far up on the first turn. Very tight. Really locked in here. We've got a situation of a bit of bridging in the middle. Got a Brisbane skater moving to the back there to try and play some offense. So 8-3, that is Vicious Citrus for the Banshees, and 9-2 for Ultraviolet Ray for Brisbane. We are 45 seconds to go in this 2-minute jam. So this has been a nice big hold out there. Some great bridging happening to the front, but 8-3 for the Banshee, getting lead for the first time in this game, which is really great. The Brisbane Jammer still in there. Banshees Jammer coming through, trying to kind of get some points on that board. We want to see some even points happening up there. Feel like they're in the game, getting that points on the board. So important for morale at this point in the game. So that's 4 points for a South Sea Roller Derby. What a great jam that was. All about the defense. Bit of offense there from the start. Brisbane sending up an O, getting that front pack status, which tends to lead, but we've got both jammers out, so this should be a nice, quick points grab perhaps. That's the call happening from the Brisbane jammer. And we're going to put some points on the board for Brisbane. None for the Banshees. So 4 for Brisbane, none for the Banshees so far in that jam. Obviously, they've got 4 points on the board. I can see that from here. Very nice and well done. Nice quick lead there by Brisbane. The Banshees are a skater down. Got 1 in the box, or 2 in the box. Brisbane getting a second scoring pass in as the Banshees jammer just gets hit to the inside line there, has to recycle behind the Brisbane skater. Trying for the other outside line, not as successful. Brisbane getting another scoring pass, putting another clean 4 up on the board, bringing their total so far in this jam to 8 points. Really lovely hit there by 314. Nice settled slow derby on the back straightaway. That's what we like to see, keeping it tight. That was a really successful jam for Brisbane, 11 points. The Banshees will definitely want to come back and reply with their own 11-point jam. Why not a 20-point jam? I reckon they can do it. We have a full complement of blockers out there, and we have a 7-7 for the Banshees, which I don't have on my sheet, but that's okay. It's a 1-7. Maybe I need stronger glasses. It's 11. It's my number. No, it's not. Anywho. Really awesome defense happening there on the back straightaway. Tripods are locked in. Banshees down by 1 blocker, but that's not bothering them at all. They are locked into this tripod. Bit of bridging happening at the front there. A direction call. The Banshees jammer pushes that out, which is absolutely wonderful, adding 4 points on the board. So this is how you need to reply at this point in the game. They've just had a big jam. You've got to put that coin on the board. Coming through again for an easier pass this time. The blockers must have been distracted. Nice, easy inside line taken by the Banshees jammer, while the Brisbane City Rollers jammer 626. That's Hexperiment. That's a great derby name. Up into the exhaustion zone of the track when the game is slow and you get to this point on the track. It's taken a long time to get there. And as we can see, it's a full 2-minute jam. So really solid reply there by the Banshees. They put 15 points on the board to Brisbane City Rollers 8. You can all do the math as to what that point differential is. I don't do math on the weekend. Looks like we just have a little bit of an officials timeout, just checking some paperwork, dotting some I's, crossing some T's. Five-second call. Almost 10 minutes gone in the game. Off that line, both teams are very, very strong in their tripod formations, really able to recycle around each other, cover the track, make it extremely difficult for those jammers looking for space and gaps. Of course, under the watchful eye of our officials. And where would we be without the hard work of officials, especially during tournaments? See the Brisbane jammer coming in on the outside line there, obtaining lead. We've had a star pass to the pivot, 1-3 on the Banshees. That's Grim Reaper. And we have 268 Glitch out there scoring. Pivot is out of the pack but denied points. That is always the way. It's the life of the pivot. Struggle to get out and then have the jam called off on you. But that's their job. It's what they do. It's the role. Got 3 on 4 starting. Brisbane with a full complement, 1 down for the Banshees. Up to jam 7. Maybe moving into jam 8 now. Really strong defense there. By the Banshees. Strong defense on both sides. A bit recycled. The Banshees jammer getting recycled out the back. Brisbane jammer 3-2 going for that inside line, but it's found by 7-0 for the Banshees, who's pushing out the front, pushes the blocker out of play. Always a nice feeling. Get that sharp two whistles. This is a lead that the Banshees need at this point in the game. They want to start kind of also adding to their tally. Great hit there, sending the jammer backwards. Wonderful offense coming in, opening up that outside line, but that is cleaned up by the Banshees. They wouldn't let that happen, while Brisbane is at the front in a solid tripod on the back straightaway, holding back the Banshees jammer. Brisbane jammer eventually does find that outside line, coming around to put some points on the board. That's evening up the points inside the jam right now, 4-4. But the Banshees are on a scoring pass right now, so they're going to pop another 4 up. Call from the bench, leaving them 4 ahead. That gives us a score of 43 for Brisbane City Rollers and 27 for the South Sea Banshees. South Sea starting with only 2 blockers on the thing down there, which is called a track. And Brisbane 626 making easy work of obtaining lead pretty quick, with the Banshees jammer still caught in the pack as they come around to score. Finding an easy pathway at the apex there, making good work of that middle space of the track. It's called, points are denied. Bit of a conversation there before the points are going up on the board, just checking. And only picking up 3, bringing them to a total of 50. Bit of tape action making the track safe happening down there, just delaying the game for a split second. Five-second call, bringing the game back in. Nice quick on the outside lead by the Banshees. Few Banshees fans. Sorry, just got distracted there. Saw some old friends. 4 points for the Banshees as the Brisbane jammer is still getting, still in the pack yet to get out on their first outness, whatever that is. Making words up now. Really beautiful recycle there. That's awesome work by both blocking teams. Not afraid to be in each other's space. The jammer pushing out to the front with the helmet cover in hand. Coming around to score as the play moves into the back straightaway. On the backside, on the back of the track there. Both jammers pushing it out, both blocking sides, doing some awesome recycling, really exhausting those jammers. I mean, we are 15 seconds left in the jam. That's hard work. Banshees putting some points that are unanswered, which is what they need to do right now. Make up some points. Good call there. There's their 11-point jam. I think that's the highest point jam that we've had. We've had 11 from Brisbane and now an 11 from the Banshees. So despite what the scoreboard looks like, I feel like this is an even game. It's really just about opportunities now and decision making. Trying to outmaneuver, outsmart your opponents. Getting quick leads and points would probably be a solid tactic. As you can see here, we've got three blockers for the Banshees, while Brisbane has a full complement, allowing them to put one to use as offense. But as I say that, one of them goes and has a sit down in the penalty box. But we have Brisbane out for the lead. Coming around to score as the Banshees push out in the front, in the back straightaway. Putting some pressure on now for that jammer to try to find those points and get through. Going for a call for a points denial. Let's see how many points do go up. A full complement of points, the whole 4. So it's a 20-point game. All right, starting jam 12. We've got 12 minutes and a little bit on the clock. Banshees coming out, getting lead. Both jammers out at the same time. Little bit of touchy there as they come around. I think we're going to go for points for both teams, which we love. See what we can do. Banshees jammer getting caught up in there, but finds that inside line eventually. Call comes just as the Brisbane jammer enters the back of the pack, grabbing 2 points. So 6-3. Timeout, White. It's kind of a dead giveaway when they don't get back on the track. They're using this time to talk about their tactics. They've got a nice lead. They probably want to hold on to that moving into the halftime. Banshees, on the other hand, want to do some things to chip away at that score. Our wonderful officials moving back into position, like the professionals they are. And Brisbane taking the track after having a little bit of a team chat. Let's see what that team chat has done in this next jam. Well, it's done a bit. That was a beautiful inside line clearing and taken by 3-2 from Brisbane, giving them lead jammer status as 9-9-9 for the Banshees. South Sea Banshees gets out the front. Brisbane coming around the score. Those blockers doing a great job, but unfortunately the offense was a little bit too good. Bit of a, see what happens there. That call kind of happened, but no points. Try to sneak those points in, but not quite. That lands Brisbane City Rollers on 68. Pity there wasn't 5 skaters out on the track to get an extra point there. and South Sea Roller Derby on 41. I looked away for a minute and that jam had started and lead had happened. Fantastic. Compliment of blockers on the track. A call for points from the bench, just looking to kind of put that on and deny. Excellent work. Just keep raising their score. If it's by 1, by 2, doesn't matter, as long as they are not allowing the other team to score. $29-point lead. I know I said I didn't do maths on the weekend, but that's kind of easy math. Thank you. Thank you. Didn't use my calculator for that one. Use my brain calculator. And I didn't use my fingers either. I didn't do that. All right. We're in Jam 15 now. Just under 10 minutes left on the period clock for this half. Look at those blockers, absolutely loving life. I mean, why wouldn't you want to be a blocker? I might be a bit biased there. But beautiful teamwork, working with each other, sensing each other where they are, giving jammers some help while they're blocking. It's all happening on that front, on that first and second turn. Don't think, we do have a lead jammer by 9-2, Brisbane, who gets recycled, but then does some magic moves, finds the outside line to clear the pack and come back around while this pack is working magic on the back straightaway. The Banshees blocking lineup coming in to hold back the Brisbane jammer, but unfortunately, Brisbane jammer finds that inside line. Brisbane blocking lineup doing a rather tight job up the front, recycling well, finding each other, keeping an eye on where that helmet cover is. They've had an extra level of complexity added as the jammer has removed the helmet cover. They want to make sure they're still blocking the right person. And as we can see, they're beautiful. Beautiful four blocking defensive team on the back, trying to hold that Brisbane skater back. We've been going for nearly the full time. These blockers will be feeling that 2 minutes. 1 minute 55 that jam was. There'll be some puffing and panting going on. We've got a beautiful, clean penalty box. That gives us a full complement of blockers. Be looking to play some offense on that start for our jammers. Where's it going to come from? This is my favourite part. Kicks off. The Banshees jammer getting the front part of the pack, now using the track to try to pull apart those blockers as they're coming into that front turn, while the Banshees blockers have that Brisbane City jammer 626 at the back. Giving the Banshees the advantage there, pushing out the front, obtaining lead. We can see Brisbane come in for a nice tight squeeze onto those Banshee blockers, trying to find that offense, but not for these Banshee blockers today. They are tight. Scoring, nice quick scoring pass in all of that movement there by the Banshees, putting 4 points on the board, but the Brisbane City jammer is out and is able to score. So we'll see what happens here. Going in. Looks like we're going to run this long. Always fun. A lot of work happening on that lovely back turn, probably one of the wider parts of the track for jammers to manipulate on a pack. As blockers, the best part of the track to obviously block in is the straightaway. The hardest part of the track are those apex turns. Those jammers can find space you didn't even know was there. So excellent recycling. Banshees jammer putting 12 points, and we still got part of this jam to go. So this will be our highest scoring jam for this game, I believe. But let's remember, I don't have a piece of paper in front of me. So that's really just a statistic that perhaps isn't true. So calling the jam off after being hit out of bounds. Pretty happy with 15 points. So that really does close the gap. But as I said, that math is a little too hard for me. So. But Brisbane answering with 10. So jam 17, and we've still got under 5 minutes to go in the period. So that's definitely a few tight, short jams that have been played this half. We see Banshees getting lead coming through. Unfortunately, getting called for a penalty, which means they will have to take a seat in the penalty box, leaving a power jam situation for Brisbane. Brisbane did not have a lead, so this will run for a full 2 minutes. They don't have control, which means we will see the Banshees jammer back on track. Brisbane using the best part of the track, the middle, to push through and break apart that very strong tripod. So staying in that, moving into the back straightaway for some more kind of easy and controlled blocking. And the return of the Banshee jammer sees some wonderful footwork on the outside line. Bit of a roar from the crowd. We enjoyed that very much. We can see the Banshees jammer now coming through, putting those points on. So it's 8 points to the Banshees inside the jam and 12 being picked up. I believe that will be a little bit more. That's going to put us on 16. But nice, easy pass there. Good reply. Very high-scoring jam for both teams here. Out of everything that's happened in this jam, it looks like what a great cheeky inside line work. Knew those blockers were distracted and just went, yep, I'll take that inside line. So full 2 minute jam. A lot happened in that jam. 4 points ahead for Brisbane. All right, so we're starting into jam 18. Last jam was a long one. 268 glitch grabbing lead jammer for Brisbane. Banshees getting in there, playing some offense, finding the outside line while Brisbane comes around to score. Those blockers manically recycling, shutting down lanes, shutting down space. The jam is called off. And we're just going to take a moment. Okay, so we're moving back in to resume play. We're just an extended break there. A minute left on the clock, we're just over. Like I said, I'm not accurate. Some awesome work happening. We've got one in the penalty box for the Banshees. Brisbane out there with a whole set of 4. Beautiful offense on the inside, but the Banshees found that, shut it down, recycling the Brisbane Jammer to the back of the pack, while now the Banshees Jammer gets to try to push this pack out the front and try to use the advantage of an out of play. But everyone's keeping it tight in this, what I would say is the last jam. I'm going to call it. I can, because I have the microphone. So it's getting really tight. Jammer's looking for any kind of gap. Banshees Jammer finding it. Really nice work. This is what they need going into the half time. Feeling like putting some points on the board just to close those point differentials down a little bit so they can have a good halftime chat about how they're going to make up these points. We've still got another 30 minutes of gameplay happening on the other half. So anything could happen in this game still. Well, as the play moves to the back straightaway, you can see those blockers recycling. They know that this is probably going to go for the full 2. They've played this game before. Offense hits in there from Brisbane. Intermission called. Or is it? It's 1 second on the clock. We're in a timeout. Looks like we are going to grab another jam, perhaps. No. Yes. No. Intermission.
one, but it's not going to be long enough to get to the patch panel on the other side. But no, but we've got the super long ones that we can use.
No, it doesn't take that long. So what I'm doing is that I did preset. So these wires all they do is plug into that.
Okay, and we're back for the second half of South Sea Banshees versus the Brisbane City Rollers, with the first jam kicking off. Really quick lead there by Brisbane. Both jammers out of the pack. Straight up points grab. I don't want to call this early, but it looks like Brisbane's going to just go for points grab and call, try to keep that differential sitting around about where it is. Banshees coming out with completely different gameplay. Their mission, of course, is to close that gap. All right, nice pushback by the blockers onto the jammer line, not allowing that jammer to have any type of run-up, either one. We've got a full complement of blockers on the track. Jammers trying to find space. A cut called, unfortunately, which means that's going to leave just the Brisbane jammer out on the track. Banshee's doing a really good job of sucking that back. Absolutely locked in to almost a standstill, but not quite, because we know we need to keep moving. Beautiful offense, finding the outside line and claiming lead jammer status after around about 40 seconds. So that was a hectic first 40 seconds of the jam as we come in. Clear instructions given by the jammer to the pack, just for a hit and wait. And looks like we're going for 8 points, 4 points. See what happens here. But we are starting in a power jam situation for Brisbane City, with South Sea's jammer in the penalty zone. Quick tap, tape, track tape. Oh, I can't even talk. I've chosen the wrong profession. Oh, wonderful dipsy-doos. A lovely pirouette on that outside line, keeping those toe stops right on the right side of the track. You can see the Banshees jammer did return to the track quite quickly and slip out the front. And Brisbane heading for that points grab again. Beautiful inside line grab there by the Banshees jammer, getting out for lead. Brisbane quickly following. Blockers are preparing for contact on that first turn. Both jammers in there scoring. Brisbane coming out with a clean pass so far, while the Banshees jammer is lead jammer, but still caught up in that blocker alignment of the Brisbane. I think my coffee's worn off. I've forgotten how to talk. Hopefully it'll come back. Nice, a bit of a rolling pack there. Call from the bench. 6 points to South Sea, 8 to Brisbane. Heading into Jam 5 for this second half of the game. Two very quick jammers out there. Brisbane getting lead, coming around to call. Lots of talking happening on the track. Very loud benches here, trying to make sure they're communicating what they need to communicate to the skaters. Timeout blue. They're going to reassess the way they've approached this as Brisbane catch their breath. 1 point in that last jam, bringing Brisbane to 127 and South Sea on 84. All right, the team out is completed and we are back with some roller derby action. Really beautiful tight squeeze, blocker on blocker action there. So jammers try to fight it and find a line. Brisbane getting lead as play moves into the first turn and second turn. Offense coming up for the Banshees jammer to get out as the Brisbane jammer comes through for some scoring. These skaters have been skating so hard, they're bringing that truck up. Quick repairs. All right, here we go again. Beautiful work there by the Brisbane jammer, really using some lovely lateral movement to spread apart and open up those blockers. As we see, it's all happening on that first turn as the blockers start to form their tripods, reclaim their space and cover those lanes. Beautiful work coming on by both blocking teams. Also beautiful work by the jammers to try and pull them apart. Going straight through the middle there, finding the gap, claiming the 4 points, making sure all are collected before calling it. The jam has started. Again, both formations locking in with the Banshees at the front and Brisbane at the back, as in packs. Let's talk about the blockers. Lead found on that inside coming into the apex, or out of the apex, I should say. Some offense being served up. So there's a bit happening on there, but I'm not going to talk about it. Not until it's played out. And the jam is called off. Bit of jammer confusion there. Perhaps that helmet cover wasn't passed as legally as the officials would care for. We're having just a little chat probably about that, about the legalities of it, if they feel comfortable. Was it within inside the rule set? We all know the rule set is large. Well, quick found by the outside and inside lines, opening up simultaneously there for each jammer. So they're going to have a race to hit the back of that pack. The jammer asking for a nice clear line. Jumps the apex. A little bit of a booty land. Big cheer from the bench. Nice clean 4 points picked up by both. Beautiful, finding the inside now. Picking up those points. I think whatever happened in that team timeout for the Banshees is coming around right now. Sure is. Beautiful work while making nice, clean, easy work of that pack. While the Banshees blockers work hard to hold back that Brisbane jammer. Brisbane jammer is out now, but Banshees jammer is absolutely thirsty for those points. 999, putting 16 on the board already. I think we might be heading for a large points grab here by the Banshees. Pushing out the front of that back. Pushing up that score. Really awesome call there by the ref on that multiplayer. I'm sure if you're watching that at home, absolutely sneaking that. Woo. Bringing that point grab up to 24. This is exactly what the Banshees need at exactly the right point. They should be pretty ecstatic about this result. No point, no pass called on that last bit, but wow, what a jam. $27 points. Well, well. Do that a few more times and we're going to have a very, very tight game. Have an official review in the middle there. Everyone's going to get together, have a chat. Perhaps Brisbane thought they saw something that wasn't called.
Zooming it in, pulling it, pushing it that way. And then, move it around to follow the track. So I've been putting right hand here, left hand on that. Can drive a car. It's you. Seems that they
Head ref there explaining the situation to both bench crew and captain. Everyone seems happy. Game will resume. From my powers of deduction, I would say the no call stands. Let's see if that official review has taken any momentum out of these Banshees. See if they can draw on that momentum from that previous jam, which was just so wonderful. And you can see those blockers are absolutely having a great time out there, blocking the track, blocking the jammers. Bit of movement now, it's all speeding up. Forearm call there on the Banshees pivot. Brisbane getting lead as a result of that skater's removal. See Brisbane trying to go for some points there, calling out to their blockers that they wanted points and picking up 3. So that's 153, plays 111. Game is up to Jam 11. Coming through as a bit of a quick, fast start to the jam, very rolly for the blockers. Moving the play into the back straightaway pretty quickly, within 15 seconds. As you see, Brisbane Jammer coming through for a quick 4 points. Banshees Jammer still in their initial pass, trying to break through that pack. Helmet cover has been passed. The pivot does become the jammer, making their way around. And that getting called off by Brisbane, denying the pivot any points for an easy 4. The jammer going into the box there, I thought that would happen. It looked like a skating out of bounds. And they avoided the blocker by not engaging and skating out of bounds. And calling the jam off at the same time. So we have a power jam for the Banshees. Coming through 7-0. Oh, a bit of fans out there. Banshees probably wanting another kind of big score, beautiful offense there, but unfortunately didn't switch to defense quick enough to stop that Brisbane jammer from sneaking through as they re-entered from the penalty box. So now we have a situation with both jammers scoring. The Banshees will be looking just to keep a pass ahead. Probably hoping to play this out a little longer. Holding that jammer back. Maybe they can get 2 passes ahead. And who knows what can happen from that point. Making easy work of it. Unfortunately, the little bit of a track cut there on the inside line. Now reversing the rolls. 30 seconds left in the jam-ish. And we're going to see Brisbane free to score some points. It's going to make the jam 8 by 8 for the moment, as Brisbane head up to 168 as their points, with Banshees sitting on 119. Brisbane Jammer pushing forward, trying to work on that pack definition to manipulate it to ensure. Banshees Jammer re-entering just on the whistle there, making sure they were definitely out of the penalty box so they can start with a jammer for the next jam. It was well timed. The pack staying towards the pivot line this time, giving those jammers a run up, both finding some nice gaps into that apex. Banshees did come out in front as the jammers come around like looking for those points. Like sharks ready to feed. Coming through, pushing that back, but those blockers on those back straightaway, using that flat part of the track to their advantage. Banshees pushing that forward, finding the gaps, turning into that turn 3, coming back around for some scoring. Brisbane Jammer still having a little bit of trouble in that front there. A cut track there, unfortunately on the inside line. I think the skater cut a blocker that was already on track rather than the blocker that went out of bounds that hit them. Brisbane now in a power jam. Have a little passive power jam set up there by the blocking team. They're going to allow that jammer to come in, hit, pull that pack to one side, and then come play some offense. Sometimes it works. Sometimes the other pack will know it's coming. Spread out like you just saw there, regain the control and regain the track. Banshees Jammer back on, causing some chaos at the back, getting these blockers to move around. Really smart re-entry there. And out and scoring. Not long left in the jam. Let's see if any, no last minute points there, but we've got maybe 4 points ahead in that jam for Brisbane City. It's waiting for that scoreboard to update. I think it has updated. So 8-8, that jam was worth 0 points differential. But it was fun. All right, heading into the last 10 minutes of this game with Brisbane City Rollers on 180 and the Banshees coming up behind at 125. As you can see, it's been a tight blocking game by both sides. It's just really been about the advantages that the jammers can find and see. Each jammer that's been out there, this evening, today, has had a different style. That can be hard for blockers because they have to adjust and adapt to that specific style. This jam specifically, we are almost 50 seconds down and we've got no lead, just some beautiful blocking fun times happening. Offense trying to be delivered, defense being nailed. Everyone's kind of almost at a standstill there as we got some rolling happening now. Rolling is always the friend of a jammer. And stillness the friend of a blocker. Brisbane claiming lead though after almost over a minute being held. Coming around to score. You can see there's been a successful star pass there to the pivot for the Banshees and a call happening for Brisbane to call it off. Again, just looking to grab those points. Not looking for a lot, just looking for a little, keeping that score ahead. Brisbane down this time to 3 blockers. The Banshees sitting pretty with 4 blockers on track. Let's see what these jammers can make of this front straightaway and the space that might open up. Brisbane claiming lead, finding a beautiful space at the front of the pack, using the middle part of the track to manipulate the jammers. Sorry, the blockers. A few whistles there. Getting towards the end of the period, which means some tired blockers, which means some errors and mistakes. So we've got a bit of a full penalty box. It happens. Small moment to check some track tape, make sure it's still safe. And the bench for Brisbane City coming over to call a timeout. White was very polite, came straight over to the jam timekeeper and said, I'm going to be calling a timeout in a moment. Brisbane taking a moment, hands in the air, doing their team thing. Well, the Banshees having a quick chat on track with their coach. Officials moving back into place, which does signify this jam's going to be starting soon. All right, nice tight jam started. 3 on 3, tripod on tripod, no offense, although here it comes. So the jam is really caught back in those tripods, really just using the pushing method to push one pack to the front, hoping that someone needs to drop, someone needs to bridge, reducing the amount of blockers there. A bit of tape caught up in the skates. Brisbane getting lead jammer status coming through. Banshees quick star pass. That was quick, neat and fast. Points call from the Brisbane bench, just looking to keep it nice and tight. Perhaps wanting all 4. Not too bothered. Banshees pretty happy with that. I don't think all 4 were given up. Only 2, great. Pausing the game for a bit of tape repair. And we're off. Into jam 17. So 6 minutes 30 left on the clock. 999 getting an easy lead there finding that beautiful space. Brisbane coming out not too long after. Coming in for some points. Trying to grab those points. Brisbane entering to score on that first apex turn, looking for space, getting hit to the outside line. They will need to recycle back. Both jammers looking for that inside line space. Banshees finding it before it's quickly shut down by the Banshees. So Brisbane could not take it, but now found that space in the middle of the track on that back straightaway. We're scoring. That was a really nice little apex, little hop there. Keeping inside. Coming around to score again. I mean, we've seen this before. M-Dog doing the hard yards. Oh, trying for another one, but unfortunately not making the jump. Now having to recycle back and enter that pack. Brisbane finally finding that space, grabbing that 4 points. So inside this jam, we've got 12 v 8. Banshees calling it off. I'll take that 4 point lead. Grabbing 1 point there, so 13 v 8 there. Under 5 minutes left on the clock in this game. 198 plays 138. It's not an impossible point differential, but it is going to mean some really powerful jams by the Banshees to bring it together. Brisbane jammer finding those edges, really using that lateral movement 3-2, finding lead quite well. Got a tiny little bit of tape caught on the skate there, causing a little bit of chaos on that first turn. And tape around the wheel. Seems to be a little bit of a problem area on the track there. I'm fixing it up now. It's one of those things when you get tape on the wheel, the more you move, the worse it gets. All right. Beautiful lead there by Brisbane. Banshees quickly following. A lot of blockers down on that front path. There's a lot of smiles. Points call from the bench. Let's see what happens. Calling off as they enter legally. Very lovely. So we've got 1 point obtained by Brisbane City Rollers. Taking them, well, they were already over 200. I just didn't notice. So probably a few jams left in this half. We're hitting the 3 minute mark, as in that's what's left. As the beautiful rotation there by the Banshees blockers, but unfortunately did give up a little bit of track there that the jammer used and obtained lead. So we have the Banshees jammer just doing a successful, really sneaky pass to the pivot, who went on their way. A points grab there from Brisbane, a call. A little bit of chaos at the end of the jam. It was a nice clean 4 points grabbed. All right, that was a really quick lead there. A little bit of chaos, I think, happening. Yeah. I think we've got a little bit of a clogged up penalty box. Brisbane using that to just grab those points and call. Going to keep that penalty box clogged up. So 2 skaters on the track for South Sea, 4 for Brisbane City in terms of blockers. Of course, each have a jammer trying to push out and through. Banshees doing a great job of using Brisbane as a form of their own defence line, making it hard for that Brisbane jammer. Beautiful hit there at the front, but jammer getting through, obtaining lead jammer status. So this could be the last jam, making 22 jams in the half. That's a few. Because Brisbane had that tactic of just points and call, points and call, points and call, slowly creeping away with the score. Beautiful work on the back straightaway there by both blocking teams. All blockers are back. Just commentators curse there. One Banshee heading our way to the penalty box, and a Brisbane as well. That's it. That's the 4 whistles. It's the unofficial score of 215 to 138. Brisbane City Rollers coming away with the win.